It's the first time, I think, where I've been in a business outside of a normal restructuring scenario where the focus has been so heavily skewed towards cash and preservation of cash. It's not about the focus on profit and loss as a normal, healthy, functioning business would be. It's more of a focus on the balance sheet. So things such as your receivables, your payables, your inventory. And it's a much shorter term focus. It could be as early as May, it might be June, but it's just impossible to say. I think what I can say with some confidence is for those businesses that manage to get them through this period of crisis and manage to preserve the cash long enough and retain order books and keep customers at the back end, there are going to be some huge opportunities there for the businesses that position themselves for that recovery. And by that, I mean making sure that they are protecting their reserves, ensuring that their working capital is at the appropriate level. Those companies, I think, will be the ones that will succeed through the recovery. The biggest risk through the period of recovery, once we start to resume the operations, is mostly based around resourcing. So making sure that you've got adequate resource in terms of the people, the inventory, working capital, first of all, because the risk of getting that wrong is quite significant. You can either bring your people back too soon, you might find your supply chains have dried up, so you're not able to get inventory in time. So things like that are the core risks that a business facing that recovery period have to deal with. That then emphasizes the importance of some scenario planning and forecasting as well, because while I said that the focus becomes very much on short-term cash flow in the early stages, as you enter the recovery and go through the recovery period, you then need to start returning back to more of a profit and loss type focus and start preparing scenarios based on different levels of business as you go into the recovery. So it might be a 20% level of your original business, 50%, 60%. And you prepare those scenarios, but you keep revisiting them throughout that period of recovery. And so if something comes out of left field and disrupts your business, you can actually revisit that forecast and adjust it accordingly, and then you can right-size your business or adjust your course of action in that time. So that element of planning, even at the early stages of recovery, are very, very important. Many businesses like ours will have been going through a period now, maybe up to 2 months, where they've had no income. They won't have been producing, the doors will have been closed. And so a lot of those companies will have been surviving on whatever reserves they had at the time of closing, and they'll be coming back to the market with depleted reserves. And so they need to be looking at opportunities now to rebuild the reserves, put some more fuel in the tank. And so even though we are potentially entering a phase of recovery now, companies shouldn't be losing sight of the fact that they still need to be watching costs carefully, trimming fat where they can, whether that be on your raw material costs or your utilities, anything where you can save a few extra pounds or a few percentage points on margins. You should be doing that now, because that will fall directly to your bottom line and help your company through that recovery period. We've got examples of customers that are buying direct from Anglo, buying their steel reinforcement directly from Anglo, and they could be saving anything from 30 to 40% on their steel raw material costs. That is money that falls directly to your bottom line. It doesn't go anywhere else, it goes straight into your company's pockets. And we've got some of our larger customers, we've got examples where the savings are anything up to about £240,000. So we're talking big numbers here. And when companies have been through a difficult phase like we have for the past couple of months, the opportunity to add that kind of money to your bottom line, it shouldn't be ignored.